Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to change out the coolant outlet fitting right here. This is an aluminum replacement from FCP Euro. The stock ones on, I believe, most of the N engines such as the N54, N52, N55, and N20 have this issue where the plastic factory one becomes so brittle from so many heat cycles that it fails. It can fail either once you're working on the oil filter housing right here, or even on the road while you're driving. So today we're going to be putting this in. It also comes with this clamp right here. We're going to be utilizing the same hose. We're just going to be transferring it over to this fitting. So to get started, you'll need a T20. You're going to remove the two screws right here for the air duct. If you come up right here, you'll see that's what we're changing out right there. It's plastic, it's very brittle. What happens is it'll crack right here and the hose just pops off, leaking coolant all over the place and rendering the car undrivable. All right, so in my case, I don't have the oil cooler, so I think I can work with this amount of space right here without taking the fan off. I'm just gonna go ahead and disconnect the sensor though. And right over here, you always want to make sure that the expansion tank cap is released so that there's no pressure. It can be a really bad mess if it's pressurized, if you're doing this when the car is warm or hot, so be really careful with that. So to start, there's two 10 millimeters right here. If you want to come a little closer, you'll see them right there. All right, so if the motor is cold, you can just pull this off, but in my case, it's still a little warm. So I'm just gonna gently pry it with a screwdriver. And coolant will come gushing out, like that. And we'll take a closer look at our fitting right here. As you can see, this one was actually already failing. It's all cracked, brittle. There's actually some pieces stuck inside still, so we'll need to get those out with a flathead very carefully. And just for reference, here's the aluminum piece, so you can actually see how much is missing and stuck in there. Take a look at the difference right there. All right, so as you can see, there's still some pieces of the plastic right here. We're gonna go ahead and remove it. See if there's a little more. Yep, right there. All right, I think that's it. So we'll go ahead and clean it up right now with a paper towel very carefully, and we'll get the new fitting in. Prep it for the new part. And then over here on the hose, we're gonna have to figure out how to remove the fitting, the OEM fitting right here, from the hose, because we still want to utilize the hose. So the way we're probably going to have to do that is by crushing the hose right here, since the hose is flexible. We don't want to use a Dremel or anything that could cut, because we don't want to puncture the hose. That'll just weaken it over time. So we want to keep the structural integrity and just somehow get this plastic off. So first I'm going to try channel locks right here. Get a good grip, just go for it. There we go. Wow, look at that. This is why we recommend changing it. And as you can tell, there's a lot more in here still. I'm gonna actually pinch it down below because I don't want this to fall in. We're gonna have to pick all that out with a little pick right now. very gently so that you don't mess up the inside of the hose. I think that's it for the big chunks though. Now I'm going to try and face it down so that I can get some of the coolant to pour out and just get any of the last little bits out. If you can hear that, there was definitely some coolant in there, so it's flowing out right now. Hopefully taking out the last couple chunks. All right, so we're just going to get this part off right here, the clamp. We'll try a couple different things. Should come off pretty easy though. Wow, it's actually like almost melted on one part in the back right here. I'm gonna be really careful right now. Yeah, it actually melted on. Look at that. So we inspect the back really quick. All right, so when I was removing the OEM clamp, tiny little piece of the rubber hose on the back came off. I'm not too worried since the flange is behind it. Technically right here and back is where it would be sealing, and the clamp will be over that spot. This is on my personal car anyway, so it should be fine for now, but I'll probably replace that hose again in the future. So we're gonna go ahead and get this new clamp that it came with on the hose. And then you need some pliers to open it up a little more. All right, leave it behind a bit. Then slide on the new part. And you want to clock it so that it's kind of upright. This is actually called the Mickey Mouse flange, I believe. So it's going to line up like this with the bolts. So don't have it like this when you tighten it. So I'm going to position it like this right now. Go ahead and grab my Chanel locks again. I actually realized I called these Chanel locks on camera. That's just what we call it here at the shop, so I'm used to that. These are just channel locks. So before you release this, you want to make sure it's going to be out of the way of the ears right here, the Mickey Mouse flange, whatever you want to call it, and that it's also seated all the way down. So I'm probably going to let go right around, let's rotate this a little more, right around here. So I'll have clearance for the head of the bolt. Now we're going to go ahead and push it in very gently. It should just seat itself at one point like that. You'll feel it go in right there. You don't want the O-ring to kink, so make sure you're very careful on that part. And we'll grab our 10mm bolts. Might have to rotate it a little bit. Right there. Always hand thread it first. That one should be good. Let's get the one in the back. This one's not going in as easy. I'll go ahead and grab a socket to help me. While rotating this so it catches. There we go. That's in now. When it actually gets to the end, hand tighten it, because these are only supposed to have about 9 to 10 foot-pounds max. This is an aluminum block. grab my hand ratchet. Go ahead and reconnect this right here. And now you're going to be low on coolant, obviously, so we'll go ahead and fill it up and bleed the system. I'll show you how to do that really quick. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the coolant in now. Just open up the bleeder. Just a little more, but that is pretty much full. All right, and next I'll show you guys how to bleed the system. All right, so to bleed the car, we're gonna go ahead and just key it on, put the heat on all the way at the max. I usually just do about bars. Then you hold the accelerator pedal for about 10 seconds. There you go, you can hear the water pump working. There we go. So I forgot to mention too, you're just going to close the bleeder that we opened when we were filling up the coolant. And sometimes this can splash, so I just usually cap it like that without actually screwing it on. Alright, so while it's bleeding, you want to look right here. This is the new part all installed. Looks so much more promising than the plastic one, as you can see right here. I'm sure this will actually just break off by barely even. Yep, look at that. So definitely change that out as soon as you can if you still have the OEM one. This part is not expensive at all. I actually got it shipped to me within 2 days from FCP Euro for I think about 24 bucks. So it's definitely worth it. And as you saw, anyone can really do this. It's not hard at all. So next we'll go ahead and get the air duct or tract, whatever you want to call it, back on. Want to be careful about the line down here. That can always break right there. I've actually already replaced mine, as you can see. I have a new clamp right there. Grab your T20 one more time. Not too tight, just like that. So we're gonna let it finish bleeding right now, and then we should be good to go. Hey! Okay.
He's got some chicken in his teeth. And bitches on his meat.
Alright, so the bleeding process stopped. So we're all good. I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten that, which I've already done. And I started the car as well. Let it warm up for a little bit. You want to check once it's pressurized if there's any leaks where we just installed a new flange down there. In my case, I'm good to go. The whole video was filmed here at Precision Dynamics Motorsport in Costa Mesa, California. I'm an auto technician here, so this was just me working on my own car for a bit. If you guys maybe want to see any more tutorials like this or other types of videos, such as a feature on my E90 335i build, or really anything, I'm just open to suggestions for this channel. So far in the past, I've done a couple tutorials. Let me know what you want to see. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.